what we are gonna do is katmer. Ta-da!
Hello!
We are together and with our New Year outfits.
Outfit.
We want to have a recipe for you, maybe the day after New Year breakfast thing or holiday season breakfast idea. Katmer is this crunchy, very thin dough, and there could be very different goodnesses inside. It could be with minced meat and cheese, eggs and parsley, or it could be with some spreadable chocolate and be sweet. In Turkey, there are so many different katmers in every other corner. Today we chose one from Aegean region.
We have 250 grams of flour
A little less than 2 cups.
and 150 milliliters of water, a little less than 1 cup, and half teaspoon salt. We have to mix this with a spatula, preferably wooden.
There is no baking powder, there's
There's nothing because
yeast, just itself. The dough itself is simple.
we don't want it to rise. We want it plain, thin as possible.
A small tip, for example, why didn't he just directly put his hands and make the mixture? Because when it's water and flour separate, the dough it becomes really sticky, and usually you get a hand full of flour, you cannot clean it well, and half of it goes down the drain, and sometimes it blocks the drain. So
Usually.
yeah, usually been there, done that. And after this point, it's not gonna be anymore very sticky.
Taking it to the counter. I'm still mixing.
Kneading is very important while doing this because it's gonna wake up the gluten, making it really strong when it's thin. Especially the dough that we use, this is white flour is higher on gluten, so better.
Yes.
And if you have a stronger flour in terms of protein, it's really better.
As you see, it's like wrinkly, not smooth.
It looks like a leg with cellulites. We want it to be smooth, okay.
For that, with my 2 hands, I'm like stretching and kneading the dough.
You look like you're very gentle on the dough, but actually he's not. He's
No,
really
I'm not.
pressing it
I'm
hard.
really pushing hard. As you can see, it's been about 10 minutes. It became really smooth and like you can stretch it out. And now it's ready to divide.
We're gonna divide this into 4.
And then we are shaping them into balls. And how I do it, I'm pressing with my palms and with my fingers, I'm like making round.
First we press. By pressing you make sure that it's round. By then slowly moving your palm up and then letting your hand turn. And also by putting your thumb like this, make it round. At the end, with your small fingers, tuck it under and then it's ready.
Now they need to rest because we are gonna like roll out them really thin because now they are like this, but they should release that stress and let themselves to us to roll it out.
And for relaxing, we have to powder. Even though now they're not sticky, when they're resting they might be a little bit. So we dust the bottoms and the tops a little, not so much, and damp cloth on top.
This side is wet, this side is not, so they're not gonna dry, but they're not gonna be sticky because of wetness. Preferably an hour.
Now the assistant Refika is gonna prepare the cooking utensils, and now we're gonna warm up a tray in the oven. It could be a cool tray like this, which will look gorgeous, but more practical, you can use an oven tray. I'm gonna put some oil, not so much, and add it to the bottom. This goes into the oven, which is now 280 degrees, top and bottom. And now Burak is gonna make the dough.
I'm shaking the extra flour. The surface needs to be oily.
But not too much.
A bit for my hands and maybe a bit for the rolling pin.
Not maybe, definitely.
Then first, I'm just gently pressing with my hands. And then the thing about this dough, if the shape is square, it's better for folding.
So you need a surface, preferably marble kind of thing, and then
Not-
you oil it a bit. You oil the dough a bit as well. If it's too much oiled, it pulls itself back.
Because it can hold itself on the counter, so it comes back if it's too oily.
It has to be enough oily, kind of when you try to thin the dough, it has to stick to the surface a little so that it will expand.
And while you are rolling out, if the dough pull apart, it means like it didn't rest well, so you need to rest it a bit more.
For it to be more square, you can push the corners like this. Pull it not from just the edge, but from the sides to here. This part looks very thin. What you can do, like press it together and shape it. So If you have a small crack, it's not important. Sometimes that happens. Okay. These parts are a bit thick.
Yes.
Always the sides might be a bit thicker, yes?
Yes, I'm not rolling out from the center, just the sides. That's it.
Okay. Now, I'm taking the tray out. Now I put the tray here and then I turn on the heat. So when the dough comes, it starts to cook immediately. The tray is hot and it will continue cooking here. Yes. Now, the fun part starts. Can I go on from here?
Of course.
We have some parsley, we're cutting them. Any kind of cheese would do. Here I had süzme peynir at home, so I use it. Spring onions. White parts, very thinly. Green parts, coarsely sliced. We have minced meat, and you can find the recipe about some eggs, cream, and persimmon. And some chocolate, which I'm gonna tell the story a little later. I'm gonna put a lot of parsley. I went to Sardes, the center of Lydian Empire.
The people who found the money.
On the top of the Bozdağ mountain, I ate this. As you can see, a lot of parsley and a bit of spring onions, a bit of salt because the parsley is not salted, a bit of black pepper, if you want some red pepper,
Yes.
and then bit of cheese like this. I'm going to crack an egg here first. I'm gonna crack another egg. And then mix it a bit. Unfortunately, these trays have a higher bottom. If the middle of your tray is too high, use a different tray. Because if the egg is in the top, it can drop on the sides. It might take a lot of time, so I turn, for example, this side, it starts to cook a little more. So I want this side to equal. I'm collecting most of the parsley mixture to the middle. Then I fold the sides like this. So now it's almost done. What we're gonna do, put this in the middle for about 2-3 minutes. Da-da-da-dam.
Wow, 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 wow.
Come on.
Come on.
I really want the technology to pass the smell as well.
One day that will probably happen. We cut it well, nicely like this. Yes, sir. And what we also do, a cheese. This is Bergama Tulum, which is a gorgeous cheese. It's like a harder Turkish white cheese, like feta cheese, but a bit aged. I believe it's the Turkish Parmesan. And while you're doing that, I'm gonna grate a bit more cheese. Now, the sound.
Ay,
Is it better than you ate up in the mountains?
definitely. Amazing.
So, if you think that this video is over, no. Now I'm going to have our versions of it. Minced meat. 2 eggs. Red pepper. Bit of salt to the eggs. Mix it well. Just before it goes to the oven, a bit of grated cheese. So, before we move on, holiday season is still going on and we want to give from Burak's the rolling pin scraper from Refika'dan. These go to 2 great all-time very loyal followers from us. And one is Shelly Dawson, the other one is Terry Rosa. They've been writing great messages to us for over 2 years, so we want to surprise them and send them small presents. Maybe you had some more things. Maybe I had my book signed to them. So also, if you want to buy any gifts, you can use Etsy for it. We have so many things that I have designed, Burak has designed, and they're all handmade from Turkey. So thank you guys for always sharing your comments, putting thanks. It means so much to us. I'm going to use persimmon for this recipe, but persimmons are really tricky. To use the persimmon at its right point is very important. Normally, persimmons look good like tomatoes, but they might look ripe, but if they're still hard, they might be a bit sour or dry and weird feeling in your mouth. That is when the persimmon is not ripe enough. It has to be soft, almost have a crack like this, or even softer. It's better. There is also another type of persimmon, a type of different family that can be eaten hard, and they're sweet and not soury, etc. when they're hard, but that's a different story. So if you have tasted persimmon before and had that weird feeling in your mouth, it's not because you don't like persimmon, it's because you ate the persimmon in a wrong time. Now it's the holiday season with the persimmon. You can make a bellini, you can make pavlova with it, and many more recipes. Voila, they're really nice. Anyways, we're gonna use this in the katmer right now. Da-da-da-dum. Yes. And finally, on top, I'm going to put some chocolate from someone called R.B. Latchford. Sent me a great box from New Zealand. Actually, he came and left it to the shop just across our building downstairs. I wasn't here in the building, so I wasn't able to meet him. Hope one day in here or in New Zealand we're gonna meet. Send us incredible chocolate. People are going crazy. Now I'm going to grate some on top of this.
And of course, vanilla beans. Thank you.
Incredible vanilla beans, yes. That means so much to us. This chocolate is too good to grate, but I wanted to mention him. So some chocolate on top. And here. Have a nice holiday. And if in your country there's no holiday, take good care. Love you guys.
I wasn't expecting this. It's too good to be true.